feel like I have like a lot to say.
Please do. So we are now recording, but Kayla, so you came to me. I was actually looking at your first ever progress photos, like to me, the minute that we onboarded you, and that was January of 2019.
Yeah.
So you started January 2019. We prepped you up for your pageant, and then you were off on your own for some time, and then you recently came back to me March of this year during the whole COVID pandemic start, March 2020, and now it is, I don't even know what month it is, October 2020. Yeah. So tell us, you know what, let's kind of start from the very beginning. Like, what were your feelings and how were you before even onboarding with me in general 2 years ago?
Yeah, well, it was funny because I messaged you just simply asking a question, because at that time when I first started with you back in 2019, I was waking up at 3:30 in the morning, going to the gym, doing an hour and a half of cardio, so an hour on the Stairmaster, 30 minutes on the bike, go to work, and then afterward go back to the gym and do another hour on the Stairmaster, another half hour on the bike, and then do some kind of lifting. I was so frustrated because I didn't think that I was where I needed to be doing 3 hours of cardio a day. And I remember messaging you saying like, Lindsay, like I look bloated. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm doing 3 hours of cardio. Like I wake up early in the morning. I'm putting in the time. I'm like eating like 1,000 calories a day, which I know is bad now. But I remember you just kind of sat me down and were like, you were overexhausting yourself with cardio. Like you should not be doing an hour on the Stairmaster. So when I started with you, that was the first thing you cut. And I remember I called one of my friends and I started crying because I was like, I cannot not do an hour on the Stairmaster. Like, I don't know. And so that person was like, well, take this experience and fully trust her because she is the expert and she's telling you this for a reason. So I trusted you and I came out with 100% trust, mind you. It was eating everything you told me to, when you told me to, how much you told me to eat. Workouts for 100% and 110% effort. And I have never looked at like anything close to that for any of my pageants when I was prepping myself, doing my own sort of cardio and what I thought was an acceptable workout with a lower calorie count. So it was awesome. I felt great. I had energy. I was eating, which I never really did prepping for a pageant. I was always kind of like doing crash dieting stuff. Like I did the master cleanse, and it was all stuff that wasn't sustainable after the pageant, that I would gain all this weight back. So now I feel like I've kind of gained especially more knowledge in the field of nutrition with the macros and how much protein I should be eating. And now it's like a more sustainable kind of lifestyle now. So it's definitely changed me for the better. And now I know that I need to be eating like 14, 15, 1,600 calories plus. So it's been a very positive experience. Good.
Oh my gosh, I don't even like have to ask you any questions. You're just like pew, 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 pew.
I told you I have a lot to say.
I love it. It's so great. Yeah, and it's, what about the break time? Because like what I do love is that how you're so easily coachable. So you took everything that I gave you, you looked phenomenal at your pageant and everything. And then it seems like you really have built this love for like strength training, and then you definitely have dialed it down in the cardio so you don't feel as exhausted. Obviously, you're so busy. I mean, student, working all the time, like you have pretty much zero time for anything extra or like fun. And so where was I going with this?
Maybe how like I balance it? I don't know.
Yeah. How do you feel like now that you dialed it down in like cardio, or you're not spending like hours and hours at the gym? How do you feel like your actual like balance is with juggling job, school, and now like fitness regimen?
Yeah, I mean, I have always made the gym very important to me. So I didn't mind spending hours in the gym, but now when you've introduced your coaching to me, I'm spending hours doing very specific things that even though it's a shorter amount of time than what I was used to, it's doing specific things and I'm still getting the same amount of productivity, just in a less time and more intensity. So it kind of equals out, I guess you could say. And I mean, I just love that you challenge me every single day for 5 days out of the week with 2 rest days, and I've really learned to really value what is important to me and really put myself first. And for me, that's going to the gym, that's feeding myself the foods that make me feel good. Like, I hated eating like pizza sometimes and feeling so dragged down the rest of the day. Like, when I eat my chicken, my rice, my broccoli, whatever, I feel great. I have energy. I feel like I want to go to the gym. Like, I want to do that Stairmaster. I want to do whichever. I don't feel like I'm dreading it. So I really learned to put myself first. And sometimes that took sacrifices. Like, if I had to wake up at 5 a.m, go to the gym before class just so I can get my workout in that day versus skipping it and adding it onto one of my other rest days, that was worth it to me. So, I mean, I am busy, but you really have to learn to prioritize like what you need in your life first. And for me, like, I struggle with anxiety. So when I go to the gym, it gets rid of it. So for me, I have to go to the gym every single day just in order to feel great and have energy for the rest of my day, to go to work, to have like a bubbly personality at work.
Yeah.
So yeah, it all just kind of, I don't know, like you, the way you structure your workout. Goodness, I can't talk today.
No, you're good.
Yeah, yeah, I told you. But you make it so easy to prioritize yourself. And the way you structure your business, it's kind of like a goal to put yourself first and make sure that you're doing these things in order to live a healthy lifestyle and make it a priority. So that's what I really love. And it's sometimes it's harder than others on days, especially when I'm in the hospital for a 12-hour shift. But knowing that I'm spending that time in the gym with a higher intensity and, a certain like leg day, push, pull, like, I know I'm getting my day's worth even if I have to miss one because I am too busy. But the goal is to not miss them.
Exactly. And that's what it really all is about. There's no black and white like way of doing it. No day's gonna be absolutely perfect, but you really have to find out what's gonna be right for you, how you can orchestrate it, and do your best with whatever you have on the present moment. So I mean, I do commend you. You're so inspiring. And now, okay, your goals are future pageant is in May.
Yes.
Yeah, so now it's go time going into there, but I mean, you have completely, you've changed so much, and I'm so excited to lead you into going in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still learning a bunch of stuff every single week that I talk to you. I mean, the coaching call that we had this week was different than the one last week. So I'm not perfect. Like, I don't have this all dialed down. Like, macros are very hard for me. Like, I'm a very structured person, and for some reason I always feel like macros aren't enough structure sometimes. So I'm still learning, but I know that I have to learn these things in order to create sustainability afterwards too. And I mean, I'm still getting used to taking the time to do this all right before my pageant rather than doing like a crash course in working out and nutrition right before, which is what I'm used to. So I'm still learning. I'm still growing my knowledge from you. So I love it. It's a challenge every single week for me.
Yeah, but I mean, you're doing it. I'm so proud of you. If there's one thing that you feel is like, I guess the most that you get out of working with me opposed to doing it all on your own, what would you say it is? Like workouts, nutrition, accountability, support. What do you think is the most beneficial to you?
Well, something that I really love about you is you're so supportive. Like, you were like, whenever someone comes to you with something negative, you always directly counter that with a positive. Like, no, you're doing so great. Like, just from this week to 2 weeks ago, your progress pictures looked super great. And aside from that as well, you also know how to challenge people. Like, I have had the most challenging workouts the last like month or so. And you kind of put it on the client, which I really like. Like, it's not you trying to challenge us. It's kind of like you're putting it so we have to challenge ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's what I really, really like. Like, for me, every single week, it's like, okay, well, after 2 weeks, I have a new workout plan, and it's probably going to suck this week. I'm going to be super sore, but let's get it, you know, like, it's challenging. And I really, really like that, because we have to create our own plans, and we have to create the sustainability, and you put that on us while you're still kind of guiding us through it and making sure that we're learning from you. So
good. I'm glad that you see that, because that's honestly like, that's all like people, that's all coaches can do. You know, we're here to like guide you and tell you, give you the the blueprint and everything. But it's ultimately up to you to put in the work, and you are somebody that actually does that, because it's one thing to receive information and just be like, okay, well, I have it, but not going to do it. Which, you know, that's a huge majority of people, but you're so successful with whatever you put your mind to. So you definitely dominated literally every single thing. And it's funny too, because you're one person that whenever I give stuff to, you're so analytical and perfectionist with it that it's the funniest things whenever I'm talking to you, which is highly admirable, but it's like, oh, you're a little too perfect. You're fine.
Well, you let me be a perfectionist, which I love. Like, you let me do that. And for me, like, this is the right area to be a perfectionist in, I guess. But like, I don't trust just anyone with this stuff. Like, I trust you specifically. And I have tried to work with another coach for like a bodybuilding thing, and they were not as involved as you were. And to me, that was a really big thing. It's like, how do you know what I'm doing? And you're so involved. Like, you make sure that we feel good, that we have enough food and energy. And that's something that I super, super love, because you make sure everyone's doing okay and they're succeeding, and not just kind of going through the motions and hoping that they're going to turn out how you want them to be, you know?
Gosh,
so that's
thanks.
what I love. Yeah. Well, I'm serious. I'm not just saying this just to, you know.
Gosh, you're so sweet. Gosh, well, thank you so much, Kayla. You've been a joy. I'm so excited to get you ready for the stage. Is there anything else that you want to add? You've definitely given such a great rundown of literally everything.
Yeah, I think I covered my bases. No, yeah, I really wanted you to know like how supportive you are, and how challenging you make how challenged you make all of your clients feel, but in the best way possible, like challenge like they're going to succeed. So, and I cannot thank you enough for that, and for dealing with my perfectionism. Is that a word? Perfectionism?
Perfectionism.
It is now.